Lyme's disease, presented by Ashley Oughton, Ashley Ratner, and myself, Summer McAleese. Lyme's disease does not target any specific gender, sex, culture, or ethnicity. This disease has multiple signs and symptoms that typically appear 7 to 14 days after being bitten. One is likely to notice a bullseye ring type of rash that occurs at the site of the bite, along with fever, chills, fatigue, and body aches similar to the symptoms of influenza. A diagnosis of Lyme disease is reached using a set of tests: the enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, also known as a ELISA test, or the Western blot test. The target population that is most likely affected by Lyme's disease are boys between the ages of 5 and 19 living in the state of Connecticut. This is because males in that age range are more prone to engage in activities in wooded or grassy areas. According to the CDC, boys in this age group are at a higher risk of contracting the disease over boys and girls ages 5 to 9 combined. Between the years of 2003 and 2005, over 64,000 cases were reported in the United States. 93% of those came from states in the Northwest, with Connecticut being the state to report the most at 1,810, with the rate of incidence of 53 per 100,000 population. Between 2001 and 2010, there were approximately 33,000 boys that became infected with Lyme's disease, with those in the ages of 5 to 19 having almost 50% higher risk of incidence over girls. Why are so many of these boys picking up ticks? Children that spend a lot of time outside in heavily wooded and grassy areas are more susceptible to tick bites, especially when they are wearing shorts, short sleeves, and not using insect repellent. Lyme's disease is not considered a fatal disease. The mortality rate is nearly non-existent. Those who have perished do so due to complications caused by the disease, not the disease itself. But morbidity continues to be on the rise. Connecticut is the state with the highest number of cases, 248,074, within a 15-year study period. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the number of cases increased by 101%, from 9,908 cases in 1992 to 19,931 cases in 2006, and in 2012, that number was over 22,000. Incidence statistics provided by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention showed that in 1992, 53.7 out of the 100,000 cases, that 25% of the infected individuals were children. More than half specifically were the boys between the ages of 5 and 19. In 2002, there were 133.9 cases in 100,000, and 60% of those infected cases were children, with at least 50% of those infected being boys ages 5 to 19. Lyme's disease can and does affect any culture, ethnicity, or background, but it happens to occur 3 times the average rate of boys 5 to 19. The relationship between prevalence and incidence in Lyme's disease is a close one. The prevalence of this disease in our target population is increasing due to the high incidence of the disease. Factors related to increased incidence are location, having pets, spending time outdoors, and participating in activities such as fishing, hiking, camping, or hunting in tick-infested areas. In order to prevent future Lyme's disease outbreaks, Connecticut needs to develop policies that are safe, efficient, and accurate. In addition, essential services should be continued to be involved in the management and support of the community. The American Lyme Disease Foundation. The goal of this foundation is to educate the community about the prevention and avoidance of ticks. These doctors and advisors recommend products not only for prevention in humans, but for our animal companions as well. Frontline works to protect our pets. Permethrin can be applied directly to our clothing to repel ticks for people. DEET spelled DEET, is another insect repellent that can be used to combat ticks and can be applied directly to fabric. The ALDF also provides educational material stressing the importance of prevention and intervention of Lyme's disease. The LDF monitors health, diagnose, and investigative measures with Lyme's disease. The Ridgefield Lyme's Disease Task Force, located in Lyme, Connecticut, is a unique nonprofit organization that is ran by caring volunteers who have direct experience with and the impact of tick-borne diseases. They offer preventative programming, patient support services, and seminars. The first annual Lyme disease conference was held in 2007. Now it is every year in May. They have a monthly support groups and educational seminars and newsletters that partly in thanks to their $50,000 startup grant from the Connecticut Department of Public Health. It is because of the Ridgefield Lyme's Disease Task Force that HB 6200 was drafted and passed in 2009. This piece of legislation essentially protects physicians in practice in Connecticut. Lyme Connection also monitors the diagnosis procedures and process and investigates different measures within Lyme's disease. The Lyme Research Alliance. Their main goals are promoting Lyme's disease awareness groups, serving as an informational source for medical research, prevention of the disease, and establishing support systems for those affected and their families, to generate funding and financial support for diagnostic testing and try finding a cure. So far, they have raised $9 million for the research of Lyme's disease. The Lyme Alliance also works with the diagnosis with health issues and monitors the effects of the Lyme disease. These essential services ensure that a community's health assessment is accurate, and this is why we chose these few selected services. Within these 3 selected services, they all offer education along with support, meetings, discussions, and also monthly and weekly get-togethers. Since one of them is located directly in Lyme, Connecticut, this also allows for the community partnerships and potential to develop future policies to benefit the people within the community. In 1990s, the vaccine Lymerix and Immune Lyme were both approved by the FDA for the use and prevention of Lyme's disease. Unfortunately, in 2002, it was voluntarily withdrawn for indications of musculoskeletal alignments. According to Yale University, there is still an interest in the development of a vaccine. The next best option for control is with the management of the deer population. Connecticut states that deer culling is beneficial. The adult female tick that attaches to the deer to feed, once engorged, they fall and can lay up to 2,000 to 3,000 eggs. Deer culling is not an easy task and must be approved on a per-town basis, but as far as Wilton, Ridgefield, Reddington, and Darien, they have all been up to the challenge. In a current study by Deep, deer are beckoned to feed stations where paint rollers apply the tick aid to their heads and their necks. This purpose is to kill the ticks without killing the deer. Since this program has been put into place, it has reduced the tick population by half. As far as the policy development in regards to Lyme disease, many and multiple measures have been trialed and errored, but with the rise in the amount of diseases known, policies are always changing and there is no set policies in place. Some of the policies that should be in place are strictly monitored yard maintenance for every resident. Deer fencing should be mandatory surrounding people's homes and yards to prevent ticks from entering into their own yards. With the topic that we have selected and the information that we have provided, we all feel that Lyme disease is extremely prevalent in today's society, and we can only hope that more policies will be mandated in order to cut down this disease. Thank you.